Pep Talk UK, Pro Bees. I'm joined by a hell of a fighter. I've just witnessed some really sharp work in training by a world champion sitting right here, Savannah Marshall. How are you?
Exhausted.
Yeah. It's hot in here, isn't it?
Really hot. But got the work done, so I can't complain.
Yeah, I was saying to Peter Fury that I appreciate the ability that you display, but seeing it up close in training, you really can see why you are where you are.
It's the way Peter teaches. Even sometimes now I think, that's not going to work. But I've learned to just get on with it because it does work.
Yeah. And you know what? They do say hard work and dedication. And I know you've been grafting away ahead of your fight at fight camp. How's preparations overall been?
Good. So I'm 4 weeks out. It's been an hard camp. It's been a long camp. But I think once you get to this point now, you've got 2.5 weeks left of solid hard training. You're there, aren't you?
100%. I actually ran into one of your former opponents in London only about a month ago, Hannah Rankin, and she had nothing but compliments.
Really?
About you. Yeah. She said
Nice
you're a hell of a fighter. Basically, she acknowledged the skills that you put on that day. Looking back, obviously a lot of people were giving you plaudits for that performance, and recognised what a lot of people already knew, that you're a hell of a fighter.
To be honest, it was I'd previously done rounds with Hannah like a long time before, so I knew like a bit about her and stuff. But it surprised me a little bit because I actually thought Hannah was gonna come and stick it on me and try and outwork me, and so when they're never, I was a bit ooh. But you train for any scenario, and that's it. I'm a big fan of Hannah. She's never had an amateur fight. She come from the white collar background, and get where she's a world champion. Well, she was former world champion, and to go from super middle, super welter, now she's having a crack at welter. So fair play to her. I hope it works out. Yeah,
no doubt. And I'll tell you a little secret. When she actually started, I remember going to one of her very first sparring sessions. She sparred Kelly Morgan. That's it.
I remember Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly Morgan. And I think she was doing rounds of a heavyweight, Sarah Knight, at the time in London.
Sarah as well, Scottish Sarah.
Yeah, so the journey's real. The journey's real, and it's good to see the progress.
Kelly was at the WBC silvers, isn't she?
Yes.
So I suppose if you're doing well against her and you've never boxed before, it's a bit of a marker stick, isn't it?
Yeah, job well done. And I think people are appreciating women's boxing at the moment. I think we've seen some incredible fights, wow. I think a lot of women in the sport will say, look, we told you so already, and we're witnessing a good time for women's boxing right now. Wouldn't you agree?
100%. I've said it previous. I think the best thing to come out of COVID is the launch of female boxing, because with there being no crowds, it's a lot cheaper to put a female fight on. So we had a good of national dust-ups. Tasha Jonas, Terry Harper, Shannon Courtney. So it's
Ebony Bridges, yeah.
It's been great for COVID. Has been great for female boxing.
Yeah, we've just seen the boom like that. And to be fair to Eddie Hearn, he spoke about women's boxing a few years back, said, look, it's going to be big in the future. I mean, he's always, promoted that. And that's what we're seeing right now. We're seeing the emergence.
100%. It's only going from strength to strength. Now, there isn't, not so much Frank, but with Eddie, there's never a show that hasn't got a female bout on. So, it's great.
100%. And you mentioned obviously as well, you know, the money side of things. And we see Natasha Jonas, she's made it clear, you know, the women need to be paid properly. Is that something that you also support? Obviously, you support with.
100%. 100%. I mean, they got there with the tennis, so I feel like, why not? It's just as entertaining. It's just as risky. It's just as brutal. So why not? But I do think it'll take time. So maybe not in my boxing lifetime, but hopefully we'll get there in the end.
Wow. I think the journey's been mad. I remember just watching a old IFL TV video with you, Floyd Mayweather, at the top of the stage. Yeah. I remember I was only watching it like 3 weeks ago. And when you were signed to Mayweather Promotions, and here you are right now as a world champion. It's been a mad journey, right?
Oh, it's been a crazy journey. I was just so naive. I remember I was never interested in professional boxing, never watched it. Just, I'm a boxer and don't watch boxing. And I remember obviously signing pro, but being through the GB system, you know, you get everything for free. Well, because it's lottery funded, you get physios, down to your socks and trainers given to you, gloves, head guards, your food, your expenses. And then you turn pro and you've got to pay for your own sparring. So anyway, signing with the money team, I remember thinking, oh God, this is it. This is it.
That's the golden ticket.
I've made it. I just remember thinking fast cars.
Bugattis, yeah, Rories.
So I moved out there to Vegas. It only lasted 6 months and I come home. Never earned a penny.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, what were some of the things, obviously, at the time? Was it a matter of, obviously, promises not being fulfilled at the time?
Yeah, that's what it was, to be fair. And I suppose, look, I was only there 6 months, so you could say I didn't give it time. But at the time, I remember thinking, I haven't got time to sit about. I think I was 27 at the time. And I remember thinking, oh, I only want a couple of years in this, make a load of money. And then get out the sport. In that 6 months, I'd boxed once, and I think I trained for 3 or 4 fights, and all of them had fell through. So I just, obviously I was, like I said, naive to the pro game, but I remember thinking, this isn't right, I haven't got time to sit about. And also I was there on my own, so it wasn't like I could, you know, have fun with my family or friends or anything like that, because I was there on my own.
You get any good sparring out there at the time?
So I remember sparring with, I tell you who I did spar, so he's making a bit of a name for himself, Blair the Flair, Blair Cobbs.
Okay, yeah.
So I've done a couple of rounds with Blair, but to be fair, he's the only one who I could say that I could remember that's kind of made a name for himself now. I remember Devin Haney was always in the gym. He was quite quiet. And it was the Swedish one.
Badu Jack.
Remember Badu Jack was always in the gym. And Layla McCarter.
Okay.
Yeah, Layla. Apart from them, I can't remember anyone else.
Yeah, I think, look, you mentioned Devin Haney. So Devin Haney and yourself, both world champions, years on.
Yeah.
What do you think of his fight against Linares? You know, obviously he had a sticky moment in the fight, and some people kind of jumped on that and said, well, we've seen signs of weakness and etc, etc.
To be honest, I didn't watch it, but I think you've got to take in consideration he's only 20, so he's obviously not the finished article. He's going to grow, he's going to get better, and I think you need fights like that to realise your weaknesses. So I think things will only get better from him.
That's it. Is that D-Ream? Things can only get better. That's him. Sorry, I'm as cheesy as hell at times. But look, I know every interview that you have is the same name that keeps cropping up. What did you think of the MMA performance of Claressa Shields?
I thought she was very lucky. Very, very lucky. But fair play to her, do you know what I mean? I think she's been doing MMA for 6 months. So hats off to her, because I couldn't, well, fair play to her, that's all you could say. Do you know, I'd give it a go. But not while I was still cracking on with my boxing. So fair play to her. It's something that she wanted to do, and she got the win. So, like I said, I thought she was lucky. I did watch it. I watched that one, but
So you don't really watch UFC, but you watched that fight. You made sure.
Well, I watched the finish. I watched the big hammer fist finish, which I've got to watch out for that, haven't I?
All right, you say you got to watch out for that. Look, this fight, all right, it's obviously a big fight. All right, it's a massive fight in women's boxing. What is the roadmap to this fight?
Well, look, I was under the impression that we were going to get it on back end of this year. I recently got told that she doesn't want it for this year. So I think we've just got to, well, I'm just going to crack on with my career. There's big names out there for me, not just Claressa. You've got the 2 super middles, Lynn Kudos and Franchin Cruz, who are boxing on the 14th of August for the undisputed super middle. I'd like to have a crack at the winner with them. There's also Hannah Gabriels, who's just become undisputed at light heavy. Yeah. Another big name. So there's some good fights out there for me. My career doesn't begin and end with Claressa Shields.
Well, obviously, look, people are always looking at the backstory. Obviously, you beat Claressa in the amateurs. Claressa wants to avenge that, that defeat. You two are always having social media spats. No love lost. It's like people just want to see it.
Yeah, it just keeps it spicy.
What's Eddie Hearn said to you about the roadmap to this fight, about it actually happening?
He was the one who told me that she didn't want it this year. So, look, a lot of things can happen between now and the end of the year. Never say never.
100%. It's been a pleasure to catch up. I think the last time I interviewed you was on, I think, Luke Campbell, Lomachenko?
Oh, really?
That
I was
bill,
going to
yeah.
say, have we spoke before?
In the media room.
All right.
Yeah, I think you came back to the media room with all the fighters.
That was my first matchroom bill, that.
Wow. How time flies, right? We had a whole pandemic.
Exactly.
That ensued after.
Exactly.
But, all right. Well, look, we won't take too much of your time, but I'd like to thank you once more for giving us time on the channel.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Savannah Marshall, Pep Talk UK. Subscribe. Thank you.